Today we are going to start a new lecture or new chapter, and name of that chapter is solid state. It is a very important topic for class 12th. So first of all, we have to know what is matter, and physically matter can be of how many types. So matter is something which occupies space and has mass, that is known as matter. And everything around us is a matter, and physically the matter can be of five types. Physically the matter can be of five types. The first one is solid state, second one is liquid state, third one is gaseous state, fourth one is plasma state, and fifth one is BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate. As far as liquid and gaseous state are concerned, we have discussed these state in +1 itself, and in this class we will discuss about the solid state in detail. Before that, we have to know what is plasma state and BEC. Plasma state is the ionized gas particle at very high temperature. Plasma state is the ionized gas particle at very high temperature, and generally the plasma state is found in the core of the stars. And next we have to discuss about the BEC or Bose-Einstein condensate, are those which directly changes from gaseous state to solid state. Gaseous state to solid state are known as Bose-Einstein condensate, and example for that is dry ice or card ice. And dry ice or card ice is solid CO2. Dry ice or card ice is solid CO2, and it is a molecular solid. Later on we will discuss. Now we have to know what is triple point. It is also an important topic for your objective exams. What is triple point? Triple point is that state at which all three states of a substance exist in equilibrium. All three states of substance exist in equilibrium. That is known as triple point. And for water, the triple point is temperature 0.0098 degrees centigrade, while pressure should be 4.58 mm of mercury. Now we have to discuss the main topic in this chapter, that is the solid state. So solid state is that state of matter which is having definite mass, definite volume, and definite shape, that is known as solid state. In solid state, the interparticle distances are smallest, the intermolecular forces are strongest, and they are rigid or non-compressible in nature, and they generally cannot diffuse, and their particle will show only vibratory motion, not rotatory and translatory motion. Now we have discussed about types of solid. On basis of particle arrangement, the solids can be of two types. The first one are crystalline solids, or these are also known as true solids. Crystalline solid or true solids. So crystalline solid or true solid are those solids in which the particles are arranged in a definite geometrical pattern. Particles are arranged in a definite geometrical pattern. That's why they are hard in nature. They have high melting point and sharp melting points. They are anisotropic in nature. They are anisotropic in nature, means the physical properties should have different value in different directions, and they will give regular cleavage on cut. They will give regular cleavage on cut. An example for that is diamond, graphite, quartz, and quartz is supposed to be the perfectly crystalline solid. After this, we have to discuss about the second type of solids, and the second type is amorphous solids. Amorphous solids, or these are also known as pseudo-solids. Amorphous solids, pseudo-solids, or these are also known as supercooled liquids. Supercooled liquids. Actually, this amorphous word has been taken from amorphy. Amorphy means no order or randomness. So, in amorphous solids, the particles are arranged in irregular manner or irregular manner. That's why they are soft in nature. They should have low melting points and melt over a range of temperature, and they are isotropic in nature. They are isotropic in nature, and they will give irregular cleavage on cut. An example for that is glass, plastic and rubber. Glass, plastic and rubber. So the quartz glass is an example of amorphous solid. Now regarding this, there might be some questions in exams may be asked, and the first one is, why glass is posed as a supercooled liquid? Why glass is considered as supercooled liquid? Then our answer will be because glass is amorphous solid, hence at higher temperature it will flow like a liquid. Glass is amorphous solid, hence at higher temperature it will flow like a liquid. That's why glass is known as a supercooled liquid. After this, the second question might be there. The glass of old buildings are thick at bottom. Why? Glass of old buildings are thick at bottom. Why? Same reason may be given. At higher temperature, glass will flow like a liquid, and hence on cooling it will condense at bottom. That's why it appears thick at bottom. And the next question might be, that is very important one. The glass appears translucent instead of transparent after some time. Glass appears translucent instead of transparent after some time. Why? The reason for that is that because some crystallization take place due to annealing process. Some crystallization take place due to annealing process. Now we have to discuss about types of crystalline solid. Types of crystalline solid. On basis of nature of the particles, the crystalline solids can be of four types. On basis of nature of particles, the crystalline solid are of four types, and the first one are ionic crystals. First one are ionic crystals. As far as ionic crystals are concerned, in them the constituent particle are oppositely charged ions like cation and anion. The constituent particle are oppositely charged ions. Next, the forces of attraction are stronger electrostatic forces. Forces of attraction are stronger electrostatic forces. Hence, they are hard in nature, they have high melting points, and they are bad conductor in solid state, but good conductor in molten or aqueous state due to free ions. They are bad conductor in solid state, but good conductor in molten or aqueous state due to free ions. Hence, these are the example of electrolytic conductors. And example is NaCl, Kf, CaCl, Cf2, Na2O. Next one are your molecular crystals. Second type of crystalline solid can be molecular crystals. From the name we are getting impression. In them, the constituent particle are molecules. In them, the constituent particle are molecules. Hence, the forces of attraction are van der Waals forces. So, they are soft in nature, they have low melting point, and they are bad conductor of electricity. They are bad conductor of electricity. An example of them is phosphorus, sulfur, glucose, dry ice. These are the example of these. Ice, solid ammonia, HF is there. So all these are molecular crystals, and these molecular crystal can be further of three types. Molecular crystal can be of three types. One are polar, second one are non-polar, and third one are hydrogen bonded. The molecular crystals can be of three types. on basis of constituent particles. Polar, non-polar, hydrogen bonded. Polar are those crystals in which the constituent particle have some resultant dipole moment. Polar crystals are those in which constituent particles have some resultant dipole moment. Example is solid HCl. Next is non-polar, in which the constituent particle have zero dipole moment, and example is dry ice or card ice. And the last one is hydrogen bonded, in which the constituent particle can form the hydrogen bond, are known as hydrogen bonded. And example for that is ice, solid HF, and solid ammonia. After this, third type of crystal we have to discuss, and those are atomic crystals or covalent crystals or network crystals. Third type of crystals are atomic, covalent or network crystals. And in these type of crystals, the constituent particle are atoms. In these type of crystal, the constituent particle are atom. So the forces of attraction are covalent bond. Forces of attraction are covalent bond, and they have a 3D network of covalent bond. They are very hard in nature. They have very high melting points, and they are bad conductor of electricity generally, but graphite is an exception. And graphite is an example of electronic conductor. An example for that are diamond, graphite, and boron. And boron in solid state has a isocyanhydral structure. After this, we have to discuss about the fourth type of crystals. And fourth type of crystals are metallic crystals. Metallic crystals. Metallic crystals are those crystals in which the constituent particle are positively charged ions, which are known as kernels. In metallic crystal, the constituent particle are positively charged ions, which are known as kernels, and these kernels are immersed in a cloud of electrons. So the forces of attraction are metallic bond, hence they can be hard to soft in nature. They have low to high melting points, and they are good conductor of electricity in solid state. Example is silver, copper, gold, sodium, potassium, iron, like that way. And keep it in mind, silver is the best conductor of electricity. Silver is the best conductor of electricity. After this, we have discussed two types of conductor. One are electrolytic and the other one are electronic. Then what is the difference between electrolytic and electronic conductor? On one side, we can write down the electrolytic or ionic conductors. Electrolytic or ionic conductors. While on other side, we can write down the metallic or electronic conductor. Metallic or electronic conductor. So, the basic difference between these are, in electrolytic, these are the conductors which are bad conductor in solid state but good conductor in molten or aqueous state, while the metallic conductor are those which are good conductor in solid state. Second point of difference will be, for electrolytic, the conductance is due to free ions. Conductance is due to free ions. For electronic or metallic, the conductance is due to free electrons. Next one, for electrolytic, the conductance is low. For metallic, the conductance is generally high. And the main point of difference is that for electrolytic, the conductance increases with increase of temperature. But for metallic conductor, the conductance decreases with increase of temperature, because with increase of temperature, the vibration of kernels will increase, which will retard the motion of electron. And after this, discussing this whole, next question might be there. NaCl in solid state is a bad conductor, but in aqueous state it is a good conductor. Why? The reason is that because in solid state it has no free ions, but in aqueous state it has free ions. Next question will be there. Aqueous NaCl has free ions. Why? The reason is that because of high dielectric constant of water, the forces of attraction in presence of water become negligible. After this, we have to discuss about few more terms of crystallography, and the first one is crystal lattice or space lattice. First term we are going to discuss, that is the crystal lattice or space lattice. Crystal lattice or space lattice. It is an important topic. So, crystal lattice or space lattice may be defined as the arrangement of particles of a solid in a space is known as space lattice or crystal lattice. Arrangement of particles of solid in space, that is known as space lattice or crystal lattice. And in two dimension, the crystal lattice can be of 5 types. In two dimension, the crystal lattice can be of 5 types. And the first one is sphere. First type of two-dimensional lattice will be sphere. And for it, two sides will be equal. And angle will be of 90 degree. Second one will be rectangular. Rectangular. In this case, two sides will not be equal, but angle will be of 90 degree. Next one will be rhombohedral or rhombus, we can say. A is equal to B and angle is of not 90. Next, fourth type will be hexagonal. Hexagonal. Here A is equal to B and angle will be of 60 degree. And the last one will be parallelogram. Parallelogram. For this, A is not equal to B and angle not equal to 60 or 90. This is all about two-dimensional lattice. Two-dimensional lattice can be of 5 types: square, rectangular, rhombus, hexagonal and parallelogram. But now we have to discuss about the three-dimensional lattice. And the three-dimensional lattice can be of 7 types, which is very, very important for your objective exam as well as board exam. These three-dimensional lattice can be of 7 types, and those 7 are CRT, HOMT. We can remember these 7 crystal lattice by clue CRT, HOMT. C means cubic, R means rhombohedral or trigonal, rhombohedral or trigonal. T means tetragonal. H is hexagonal. H is hexagonal. O is orthorhombic. O is orthorhombic. M is monoclinic. And T is triclinic. T is triclinic. As far as their sides are concerned, for first two, all 3 sides are equal. For first two, all 3 sides are equal. For next two, 2 sides are equal, but third is not equal. And for last 3, no side equal to each other. For first two, 2 sides are equal. For next two, for first two, all sides are equal. For next two, 2 sides are equal. And for last 3, no side is equal. Next up, what about angles? For first, 5th, 3rd and 5th, all are right angle. For first, 3rd and 5th, all are right angle. First, 3rd and 5th, all are right angle. For second, all 3 angles are equal but not equal to 90. For hexagonal, 2 angles are of 90 and 1 angle will be of 120. Sixth one, 2 angles are equal of 90, not the third one. And last 3, no angle is equal to each other. These are the 7 type of crystal system in 3 dimension. Now we have to discuss about the Bravais lattice. What is Bravais lattice and how can we remember those? Bravais lattice are the possible structure of these 7 crystal system are known as brevis lattice. The possible structure of these 7 crystal systems are known as brevis lattice, and these are 14 in number. The brevis lattice are 14 in number, and they can also be written like this: 3, 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. CRT, HOMT, 312, 1421. By this clue we can remember. For cubic, there will be 3 lattice: simple, body centered and face centered. For cubic there will be 3: simple, body centered and face centered. For rhombohedral there will be 1: simple. For tetragonal there will be 2: simple and body centered. For hexagonal will be 1: simple. For orthorhombic there will be 4: simple, body centered, face centered and end face centered. For monoclinic there will be 2: face centered and end face centered. Simple and end face centered. And for triclinic there will be 1, and that is simple. Now question might be there: which crystal system is most symmetric? Then our answer will be cubic. Which system is most asymmetric? Then it will be triclinic. After discussing this, we have to discuss about the unit cell. But before discussing the unit cell, we must have to know some basic concepts about the cube. Some basic concepts about the cube. And for a cube, number of corners are 8. For a cube, number of corners are 8. So contribution of a corner will be 1 by 8. Contribution of a corner will be 1 by 8. Number of faces will be 6. So contribution will be 1 by 2. Contribution will be 1 by 2. Number of edges will be 12. So contribution will be 1 by 4. Number of body center will be 1 and contribution will be 1. Now, value of face diagonal. Value of face diagonal will be root 2a, and value of body diagonal will be root 3a. Value of face diagonal will be root 2a and value of body diagonal will be root 3a. Now, we have to do some questions over it. And the first one is, in an ionic solid, atoms of P are at corners. Atoms of P are at corners, and atoms of Q are at half of faces. Half of faces. What is the molecular formula of this solid? What is the molecular formula of this solid? So to write down the molecular formula, first find the number of atoms of P. Number of atoms of P should be 1 by 8 into 8. That should be 1. Now we have to find number of atoms of Q. That will be 1 by 2 into 3, as half of face will be there, 3 by 2. So formula will be P2Q3. In this way we can do the numericals. Now we have to discuss what is unit cell and what are its type. So unit cell may be defined as the smallest part of a space lattice. Smallest part of a space lattice which repeat itself over and over again to give the complete lattice, that is known as unit cell. Smallest part of a lattice which repeat itself over and over again to give the complete lattice, that is known as unit cell. So the unit cell can be of two types. One is primitive and the second one is non-primitive. The unit cell can be of two types, primitive and non-primitive. Primitive unit cell is that unit cell in which the particles are present only at corners of the cube. In which the particles are present only at corners of a cube. An example of that is simple cubic unit cell. Simple cubic unit cell. And the next one is non-primitive. Non-primitive means the particles are present at corners as well as other places of the cube. Those are known as non-primitive. An example of that is body-centered cubic unit cell and face-centered cubic unit cell. Now we have to discuss about these three unit cell, and the first one is simple cubic unit cell. Simple cubic unit cell. So, as from the name we are getting impression simple cubic unit cell. In this type of unit cell, the particles are present only at corners of the cube. In this type of unit cell, the particles are present only at corners of the cube. The particles are present only at corners of the cube. Hence, the total number of particles in a simple cubic unit cell will be 1 by 8 into 8, and that comes out to be 1. So tetrahedral void will be equal to 1. Octahedral void will be equal to 2 times of that, that will be 2. Now, neighboring atom distance should be equal to as length of the cube, d, and that will be equal to as length of the cube. And radius will be half of the diameter, so it will be a by 2. Now we have to find out the packing efficiency of simple cubic. For that, formula applied will be volume of spheres upon volume of the cube into 100. So, volume of sphere will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, and volume of cube will be 8 r cube, because A will be 2r into 100, and that comes out to be pi by 6 into 100, and that should be equal to 52.4%. Hence, vacant space in simple cubic will be 47.6%. Next, we are going to discuss about FCC unit cell. In FCC unit cell, the particles are present at corners as well as each face center. The particles are present at corners as well as each face center, as shown in the figure. Particles are present at corners as well as each face center. So, here total number of particles will be 1 by 8 into 8 plus 1 by 2 into 6, and that comes out to be 4. Number of particles will be 4. Tetrahedral void will be 8. Octahedral void will be equal to it, then it will be 4. And the neighboring atom distance should be equal to half of face diagonal, half of face diagonal, and we have discussed face diagonal will be root 2a upon 2, so it comes out to be a by root 2. Now we have to find out radius, that will be half of d, and that will be a by 2 root 2. Now we have to find out the packing efficiency. In this case, number of sphere are 4. So volume of one sphere will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, and volume of cube will be 16 root 2 r cube into 100, and that comes out to be pi upon 3 root 2 into 100, and that should be equal to 74%. So vacant space will be 26%. Vacant space will be 26%. After this, we have to discuss about BCC unit cell. As from the name, we are getting impression. In BCC, the particles are present at corners as well as center of the cube. In BCC, the particles are present at corners as well as at the center of the cube. So we can say that one particle is present at center of a body diagonal. From this, we have to find number of particles will be 1 by 8 into 8 plus 1, that comes out to be 2. So tetrahedral void will be 4, octahedral void will be 2. Now D should be equal to half of body diagonal, and that should be root 3 a by 2. And what about radius? And radius will be root 3a by 4. Now we have to find out the packing efficiency. In this case, number of sphere are 2. and volume of one sphere will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, and volume of cube will be 64 r cube upon 3 root 3 into under, and that comes out to be root 3 pi by 8 into under, and that should be equal to 68%. So vacant space will be 32%. Vacant space will be 32%. Now question might be there in exam, what is the packing efficiency of diamond? For that formula will be root 3 pi by 16, so that will be 34%. With this we comes to end of today's lecture. I hope you understand what is solid state and various concepts I have discussed. Tomorrow we will finish, or we will discuss the next video about this. Till then, thank you, stay connected, stay healthy.